Welcome to this session of Q&A on channeling and heroic assessment. Thank you everybody present. And as in the beginnings, we have to pay a lot of attention of what is from where we are coming. I just was telling in the persons assisting that there's a fly around. These are big flies, the ones that are very bothering, making noise, that are like something hard to ignore. And I understand that when there's something big about to happen, when there's something, the famous Sphinx, when there's something valuable, there's a guardian that will try to deviate us from that treasure, from that wisdom, from that valuable moment. So this fly trying to distract me, this test and challenge of focus. Also, now that we return to this opening of many windows, that also is a challenge I recognize when I see you, your laugh, the window of entrance is a challenge I recognize that could deviate me. So I will put full focus now, and as we talk in the initiatic ways, we first block everything that can be trying to filter in our manifestation. So I open the window for the fly and already learned the lesson from the first session. First mute all the microphones and open when there's a question and read. So I don't get like deviated whenever I need to do something. That's a consideration as we have been talking in the framework class. So now we enter to this session, and I will start with questions of yours that you have been sending me during the week. You have been sending me first from the lineage of the Akashic records. I have seen something that may be valuable for everybody that is training in channeling. Then the astral ritual, or the rituals that I promised to access the astral realm, that we didn't work that much in the Akashic records consultants, but yes, it's very important to integrate. And then the last third thing, the vision and the communication with the light language. That's another language and another way of communication that we could use, and it's of very great use to have in our favor. So this is the quadrant of the possible. When we work on the hero's map, I will put it very simple. So we are playing with it, dancing more with it. So I will put it here, but this at the beginning, or if you access differently, at the initios. And this is the quadrant of the impossible. So many are bouncing in this quadrant. Like, okay, I start something, and then because, no, I'm not done for that, whatever justification, there's justifications, one of the sphinxes of this quadrant. No, because this is not for me, or because I didn't do the homework, or because, so this is impossible to me. So whenever we start something, channeling, it will keep it impossible if you're not doing it. So you're getting trapped, in this case, in the impossible quadrant, because you're trying to be moved by the ego. And I detected many of the ones who were training needing more things to start doing it. Hasn't it happened to you that, okay, I'm not ready yet, I need more, when I have this. When I know more, I will be able to do it. That is what keeps it impossible. And then we think, no, it's because I am this way, I'm not done for that. And then you can be blocked forever in something like that. If you think that is one of the sphinxes, is how I am. You think it's like, no, I'm not psychic, I'm not a channel, I am not because this is how I am. That's stagnancy. So that's when we're moved by the ego and we don't do the magical crossing. What is the magical crossing here? You can write it. If you know the way, which is the magical crossing and where to go when you are starting to do something. We know the one of I can't because I cannot do it because it's this bounce. We will have this awareness of listening our thoughts. It's like, no, I cannot because, and the ego will always like us to keep us bouncing in these things and not growing. So I have not read still the answer of the magical crossing. What would it be for the ones who have been in the or seen the map? Jump to the cliff. Okay. Which cliff would be? Okay. More specific. To the necessary, yes. Yes, you have been in the map, Lautaro. The necessary quadrant is this one. The magical crossings are crossing not linear. We start doing magic when we start thinking circular. That's why we start with this. To start making those leaps. Yes, there's like leaps to someone new. This is the cliff of magic, if you want. Go in there. So I brought an example so it is understood. I want to channel, for example, but I think that I need to have my third eye open. Have you heard that logic? Because that's a logic. I cannot channel if I don't have my third eye open. So then people start looking for having their third eye open. And then they keep going and start doing things to get their third eye open and think that that's the goal itself. And that's also how the ego gets us lost or trapped in some things. But the original goal, your original what, was I want to channel. I want to have a better connection. So, this crossing makes us forget why, yes, this crossing won't make us forget why we're doing it. So, we know what we need. Okay, I want to start having a better connection with myself, to start channeling. So, instead of thinking, why it's impossible to me, or why I cannot do it, or why it has always been hard for me, we start thinking, okay, what do I need to do it? And then here maybe we have the pineal gland. Pineal gland that we want to see. Maybe I need to open up my third eye. Okay. In this case, we don't just stay here. We don't just stay here. Okay, I would just activate my pineal gland and think that was it. Or as we were doing, just doing these rituals that we had in the class, and that's it. No, remember that was for something. So, what do I need to take care? I do need to take care of my pineal gland, my body, what I am eating, the quality of food, the quality of energy, the quality of information. we start thinking of the needs and why do I need to channel. So when we start thinking on that way, the magic starts happening, and many people do not want to connect with their needs. That's why we put it in the second class very strongly. When we know our needs, they are a huge motivation. This is why we start with this crossing, the crossing of the most difficult to connect. Why do I need to channel? Why do I need this connection? This connection to myself. I start doing what I need to do. In the case of the pineal gland is, okay, cleaning from fluoride, activating with sounds, exercising to see if it's useful for the channeling. So I see, if I try to see if I am seeing colors, if I am looking figures. So I clean my blood, I clean my cellular memories to make it help me and not bring me, traumatic memories when I open, because sometimes it happens because I have traumatic experiences, so that's why it's shut down. So we start looking on what we were needing to unlock it to keep going in our path. Let's do a little exercise because I want to take it more into the practical. Okay, for this exercise, we just sink into our body. And with our eyes closed, we wash them, we kind of rub our eyes, clearing from the light that was coming from the cell phone or all the information that got stuck, all the eyes and the eyes around. We rub it to clear it, to move it. And also shake the hands when we take out the light that got stuck, the information that got stuck there in the eyes, in the cheeks, the emotional parts of the face, and we shake it from the hands. And now, deep breathe and intent. Do the intent of connecting with your body, the divine intelligence that is bounding, keeping together your body, and ask to be shown a color in your mind's eye. You will see a color. Okay, perfect. Who receives a color? And if you believe that you're not seeing a color or if it's a reflection, try to describe the color. Because there's a shade, there's a tone of the color. Who sees a color when you close the eyes? You can raise the hands or just write it. Yes, perfect. Yes, you can do like Joy too, putting the hands like this, crossing. This is a mudra. This is like another mudra that we can do, crossing our both hands, like listening, because the eye of here, of the sensor of the senses, yeah. We put it like there, and we block from the reflection, and then you will see a color. For the ones who have that open yet, and you just with intent start opening it. Yes, try to just describe it if you can, and remember to breathe, the intent with the breathing. Yes, that's just to have an awareness, to have the intent of, am I seeing a color here? Is this a language that I am receiving, but maybe I'm not listening? Yes, perfect. we can see many shades, and sometimes what happens here, this is the second point. Yes, awesome. I like that you already can see, and the ones who are not watching any color or maybe cannot describe it, know that it's happening in some degree, because the body is constantly communicating. As we have been talking, there's always something flowing through us. So this is leading us to what I wanted to talk secondly, the light language that is constantly being broadcasted to us. There's a matter of decodification, but right now the important thing is like knowing there's a message. We just need to sink in and open up the listening to be on the receiving end, to receive it. Otherwise, the communication cannot be established. So that for the ones who want to keep diving, and the light language is, or like the light communication is your way of communication that is opening up for your body, we can do the cellular memory. The cellular memory is the codifications of colors, and to activate is more activation and painting our body and painting our system. That's has been of the most powerful things I have done. Sometimes I forget that has been backing me up during the channelings, the activations, the healings. So that on the side of the light language, and that we see just with intent. So even that I believe that I was not capable of receiving anything, when I connect with what I need, it's like, now I need to understand this color. That's what I created. I need to understand this color. So it's not that it's impossible to me. It's just I need to understand it. It's a different logic. It's like, it's not that I'm not receiving. That's this quadrant, the strategy of the ego is, I'm not receiving. I cannot do it. This is not for me. That is the strategy of impossible. But just by doing this intent of, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, put my hands here, I do this and listen, and now I need to understand. Our psyche and our consciousness device is going elsewhere to, I need to understand what is being said, what is happening. Makes sense? Yes, I see a gentle yes, it's like, reflection. Okay. So, and that's on the colors. I was thinking of doing a special class on light frequencies and spells. And that's for the ones who have that clairvoyance, that need to see. That's a extra resource, but you don't need that to channel. That's on the first two questions. And the last one, before I receive your questions, the astral. Many of you have been asking about the astral. Last night I even dreamed of you, Lautaro. I was like, you're here. I was like, okay, I didn't know you were here, but we were there. The astral is the most confusing realm, as I have been saying it, because it's a mix of the images and the what we have as symbols that we can acknowledge, plus the raw emotionality that we are resolving. So it's the subconscious mind bringing these symbols with the raw emotionality that are the first impulses that come, that if we can remember it and be participants of it, we can use emotional intelligence inside that subconscious rewriting. That's why it's so powerful. The ritual I do before entering the dream realm has to do with what we have talked on the awareness of how we are entering. That's why we do the initiatic approach on this. It's how we are engaging, initiating the next phase. So, I do the ritual of leaving my body in peace, and I deliver myself into the dream realm with the intent of everything that I can resolve consciously. I will be doing it. I will be doing this awareness of my intent even in the dream. So I have that as an intent, and around me to take notes, because that's also a clear message of, hey, I want to remember and I will take notes on it. So I make it easier for me to remember it. And I will do something with the information. As we talk in the introduction of the channeling training, what do I do with what I know, or with what I received? So whenever we act on what we received, we are giving a confirmation, assertiveness with the universe. It's like, hey, I'm here and what you're saying is relevant. So with this, we start working on our awareness, or our meta-awareness, as the exercise class, what we are aware, that we are aware. The meta-awareness is applying awareness to our awareness. So that's the skill that we are going to need in our astral and lucid dreaming. Make sense? I know that it's not that simple for the ones who are listening the first time, but the ritual class and the exercise class will help us to build up when we are conscious to then when we are dreaming. That's why it is a fitness, this is a training. It's not learning how to do it. It's like, okay, am I aware of how I am accessing the ritual of mate? Am I aware how I am accessing my dream state? Am I aware of how I am brushing my teeth? When we start applying that micro awareness as a muscle in every ritual, we are constantly training for whenever we are in other realm that our subconscious will need it. Make sense? This is like a life mastery. I know that's why I started with the trick, the simple trick. It's like life mastery on applying of every sequence of ritual that is our life. I do a mate to take a breath, and please write whatever you have as insight or question in here. Whenever I receive a dream, Lautaro was coaching me last night in the dream of when to get a flight to Europe, for example. And he was like, okay, we get this flight, and I was like, I'm trying to solve that. And then I come back with a notion. It's like, you know, when the dream state is like, was this real? Not, but this has some components of real. So we can re-edit it at that moment when we are like crossing the threshold. That's a crucial point, because I'm not saying crucial just because of crucial, I'm saying it because of crucial. It's a crossing point. Crucial is defining a moment and another. So it's like a crossing point, the threshold between two realms. So when I am receiving in the morning, and I said, okay, I have these dreams, and I have this sequence of dreams, I just let them sink in and highlight what has been relevant for me. Most people do the disregarding. It was just a dream. It was a crazy dream, you know? And that's like disregarding and not receiving. It's like there's something. So when you apply the meta-awareness, it's like, okay, what was interesting from this dream? This, and that. And that way you can remember it because of trying the memory and bringing it back. It's like, okay, I have this memory and I can tell this dream and I can write it because this is relevant. This, I have emotionality. And even you can rewrite it during that meditation state. Because when you are in that crossing point, you can talk with your subconscious and answer back that projection. I had a rewiring of my teenage years recently in a dream that I was in a context and I understand the archetypes that were playing there with the images that I had from teenage times, and I could rewrite them because it was like, I understand this archetype. It's not that I am triggered by that, the image of what it was presented by the subconscious. Is this, this is an archetype. So with this archetype, I do like this and that, and I rewire that dream. That's I cannot explain it in just this answer of the question, but know that is possible. Now, you know that can be done. You know, if you have an importance of why would I want to rewire my subconscious, I will give you a good why. It's because the subconscious will rule your life if it keeps some subconscious. The most strong forces are the invisible forces and the subconscious forces. So no matter what we work on the conscious, if we are not capable of bringing and transforming our subconscious, the occult, the hidden forces will rule our lives. So that's a why and how it's possible. Yesterday I did a huge activation in a river, and this is for the ones who are channeling also for global. It was opening of universal records, or sometimes the contact with the metamorphic field of a place. Every place has memories that have been imprinted in their field, that they are being broadcasted from the stones, from the waters, from the trees. And this was a 5D activation. I got this, even was the possibility of sharing it. Because when we do a complete activation, like we are sustaining all the lower bodies, we have the crystal realm. I usually have my crystals that I do the structure forms that I learned from the Pleiadian techniques and also the shamanism. So we do the structure forms with some crystals that are imprinted, so we have that foundation, that foundational realm supporting us. The plants and the animal, the living beings. So we have the essential oils. I started bringing essential oils, plants, blessing the tree. Another good gesture of blessing the trees that have been there for a lot of time, that this is for building up pistis. This is a ritual for building up pistis, credits with elementals, with the beings of a place, so they open up and talk with us. I pee the trees. I pee on the trees, blessing them with giving a part of me. That's what the dogs do. It's like they're saying, okay, this is like, here you have a part of me, because you have DNA and things in there. So it's like, and you are giving status reports with the nature when you are peeing on them. So it's like, this is who I am, this is how I am now, and the water is very sensitive to be programmed. That's why in the light frequency colors, we teach how to bless and put a spell on our pee. So I bless the trees. and tell them who I am and do an offering of food as well. I gave them an apple and things. Mental, the intention. And I was okay. I have the intention of listening to this place. I have the intention of doing an activation and as well wanted to see the situation of the world. And that's why I opened the records. That's why we use the prayers. I did my opening of records and the universal records. So I started getting the mental framework to let it in. Then the energetic body. The energetic body was like using the sensitivity of the energies around that when I opened that possibility, that realm, and started like to calibrate and do the match with it, I had the visions of all these Aboriginal people cooking in there, because I see the mortars, where they cooking on the side of the river. This is a place that the natives were. So they were cooking, and there was a lot of joy stemming from the memories and the energetic realm. So it was like, hey, thank you for being here, permission, and thank you for letting me be here in this sacred place of yours. And then I opened records, that is a mastery realm, or like the connecting with the Buddhic realm, that where we have the access to all the wisdom of the souls and our masters that are there to communicate something. So from there I activated with the light language of the Pleiadians. So I know that this can sound complex, but it's what builds up the stage for, it's like the situation or the context that allows a channeling to happen. So most of the channeling, when it's spontaneous, is because of the building up of the content. We do the context and then the content comes in because we made a beautiful vessel. Makes sense? So I know that it's a tribute, a gift for the place, and harmonization. It's like being in constant service. One of the codes of the lineage, of the Akashic record lineage, is being humble and in service. So this humbleness as a virtue opens up doors. Being more humble and respectful and like, okay, you find your place, and then from your place you start opening up, and you have them as allies, so we have less resistances. So lastly, when the signs started coming, I do all the preparation, the signs started coming, and suddenly I see a fox. I never saw a fox that close in my life. Like, he was like looking at me and it was like, what are you doing here? It's like, you're just chanting and putting this weird music, and the fox was trying to go to take water. So there was to the river. So there's a natural harmony that we need to contemplate. And that was the point of, okay, that was the end of it. It's like, now is the point that the animals want to come and take water. So I was already out of place whenever I wanted to keep being there and the sunset and just like starting to film. That's like, was like, okay, look at this beautiful place where I am. And it was like, no, that's not sacred, because the sacredness is that place for the animals. So all the time we are recalibrating with our ego, because I love to film. You have seen, I love to film how beautiful things are, but I had to place myself again.
You know what? I do have a question. For those of us who are still very new to channeling and aren't really very in tune with trusting the signals that we receive and knowing what's just our patterns and what's just noise. and what's actually a message that's coming to us. You mentioned you notice energies being from Venus or from Pleiades. Is there some kind of activity we can test out to try to figure out like our galactic origin, like where our souls might be from, whether it's from Venus or Pleiades or Sirius or any of the other things? Is there some kind of an exercise we can do to try to figure out like what, or if our guides are from there, or if we have some connection to another place? Is there like an exercise we can do to figure that out?
Yes, yes. Usually, with the records, I ask which of these options, and sometimes it's like comes like this, and they are like very insistent in one faction or soul, a star origin, and sometimes it's a combination, because we have been in many different civilizations. If we're having this conversation, it's just like raising awareness on it. So then there's another friend that does a soul blueprint, and she can do it with a pendulum. She has a map of all the star races. Like you can put the name, and you go with the most resonance. It's like, okay, which is like asking with a platform that you can receive the answer. If you maybe don't know some race or some planet, you just do the research for having them on your map, on like a board, and okay, where is my soul has been, and you can do an asking on each race. That's what she does. Kind of with a pendulum, or even you can use the muscle testing of the first exercise class. Remember that whenever we find information, even in groups of friends of the Pleiadians, there's Taurus starseeds, there's a lot of those groups, always filtering, because there's so much projections on it. So your memories will be the measure. And for your memories to activate, you have to expose yourself to certain experiences. What I will do is, for all the Pleiadians, this happened to me yesterday. It's like, oh, I needed to reconnect with these Pleiadian origins. And I put the music of the Pleiadians and the Pleiadian star language, and I felt resonating. So it was like exposing ourselves to the experience. That will like, oh, I resonate a lot with this. And then I learned some Arthurian techniques, and it's like, yes, guys, I know I'm going there, and I know that you are coming for me to teach me some things so I can adapt to go with you. Whenever we read material from them, like, I think I have a book to send of the Lyrians if you want. The Arthurian is the book that I promote of the Argüelles. I like him a lot. And the Pleiadians, Barbara Hanklow is a great resource. You know, we dive into the information, into the experience, and the memories will resound. So that's the best answer I can give to dive into that experience. Yes. And there's a channel series on Gaia TV, that talks about light languages from different places. And that's what I wanted to recommend, that series of channelers, that when we start channeling, this is very linked. That's why we're in a channeling Q&A, we are talking about star races, because it's very linked. It's like you will arrive in some point to this topic, because it's very linked. Channeling extra dimensionals on Gaia. Yes, we are multidimensionals, and we have bigger brothers and higher intelligences helping us, reactivating us, helping us remember. So when we establish a connection with them, it's more flowy. Okay, for the ones who want to do more on the Pleiadian side, I'm sensing, I'm probing, what do you want? Because if there's interest to something, like for the light language, as we did in the Merlin's training, we go there. If there's more interest in going to the Pleiadians, light language and Feng Shui and activations of crystals, we go there. Yes, just let me know and we do it. Yes, Adam Apollo is epic too. I saw that chapter you were doing in episodes. Yeah, awesome. You see that guy and you realize that they are between us. That's a badly disguised extraterrestrial. It's like you see that there are people that have a bad disguise, just like that, you know. So you can you don't get tricked by the hologram. You just see the factions, and those are the signs you will be able to read. So when you see some factions, those are also anchors that our DNA and our matter need to express. So then you see differently the things. Like there's a movie. Well, Men in Black. Men in Black is not. Men in Black is just like telling how it is. You know, there are these guys among us, and we just forget. You know, like we just forget with any device. And just like having that awareness to go into first knowing and not forgetting and not just believing every tale that has been implanted. You know, when the flash comes and they tell the story, this is the cell phones and the media. So yes, it's so fun. Just let me know if you would like to connect more with the Pleiadian energies, or for example, the channeling of our lineage has a lot of the Pleiadian energies. In fact, the initiations that just open, that tell me, okay, you can do it on distance, because we are assessing, we are helping with the bridge for transporting the symbols imprint. It's because of the Pleiadians I can do this now, initiations like this. So inevitably we are going to connect. Okay, I know we are on time. Thank you for your presence, your patience, and your participation. And I will send the ones who don't have the emails, I will send again all the links, or the last recording with the links in the description, so we can catch up and start playing. Because really I am doing these sessions because I want to play with more magicians. I want to play with more heroes dynamics. That's why I'm doing this. It's like I want to have fun with cases and heroic applications. That's why I'm doing this open and for free. It's like because I need this, having fun with this map and the heroicness that I want to nurture in our lives. So yes, please join this. And if you want more resources and really commit to channeling, the best thing is doing initiation, because it's not so much of technique. It's doing it and being more aware in all our rituals. Okay, thank you for the ones who are watching in the future.